So let's just go from the beginning. Something that you kind of revealed on Fight Week that I didn't know about, and it's kind of interesting. So you were offered, tell me if I'm wrong, you were offered Vicente Luque or UFC St. Louis, and you
Yeah,
accepted the fight against Vicente Luque.
yep.
Is
And
that when
so,
you came on the podcast and you were like, and by the way, the UFC's coming to St. Louis? That's because you had already heard about that, right?
exactly, right,
Okay.
exactly. So just giving a more in-depth story, so Brian Butler, he gave me the call. He said, look, I got an opportunity for you, all right? You have two choices, right? You can either fight for a ranking. He didn't give me a name though. He said you can either fight in a ranking, or you can fight in your hometown. Which one you want? I said, I can't do both. He said, no, you cannot do both. You have to pick one. So I'm literally just thinking, I'm trying to juggle. I'm like, I remember that the last time that UFC came down to SCL, right? It was a long time ago. So having the opportunity to fight in your hometown is going to be a major deal because you never know when they're going to come back again, right? But at the same time, the only reason why I'm fighting is become a world champion, and these ranking opportunities don't come around every single time. So I said, how far are both of these events from each other? He gave me both of the dates, March 30th, May 11th. I said, okay, that's not much time in between, right? To really train and prepare. But I was like, if I come out of this fight March 30th unscathed, then I wanna be able to fight in my hometown. He said that's probably not gonna happen, but do you want the ranking? I said, yeah, let me get the rank fight, and then we'll work on trying to get the May 11th card. So we took the ranked opponent and we beat Vicente Luque, and then that's when you saw me, brainstorming on how to promote for myself, going out to UFC 300, talking to Dana, blase, you know what I mean, and then getting my ass on that St. Louis card. So yeah, we made that shit happen.
Right. So when you started making those call outs, did you feel like the UFC might have been like, were you wondering how they would perceive it? Because from an outside perspective, they might have been like, this motherfucker, man, like we told him he gets UFC St. Louis or the ranking, and now he's asking for both. So did you feel like confident when you were calling for your shot at all, or were you feeling like,
Well, that's the
pissing
thing.
anyone off?
I had the first win, right? So it's not like I was calling my shot from the beginning, right? So yet again, it was already denied. If I take one, I can't get the other, first off, right? But like you said, for me to try to hop on to this next one, I don't think they really was mad about it. I think they was kind of like low-key encouraging it, right? Like, they're proud that I actually went about, asking for it because they wanted me on the card, period, right? They wanted to see if I was going to actually take the ranked opponent or not, right? If I was really about that life. That's what I think it really was. Because at the end of the day, it would have gave me more opportunities to prepare for May 11th, right? If I didn't take the March 30th, which March 30th was kind of short notice itself, they kind of called me around that time, in March, late February, right? If I think they just wanted to see if I was going to take that ranked opponent, yes or not. So I took it and I showed them. I was like, all right, I'm really about that life. I'm really trying to prove to the world that I'm definitely that guy that you can call on if you need a fighter to show up. I'm definitely that guy. But at the same time, things are not always predicted when you get into a fight because anything can happen. Injuries happen, right? So at the same time, once everything went the way it should, I was able to take the St. Louis fight. I was able to promote it to a new level, right? I don't care what nobody say, no disrespect to Derek Lewis, but I looked at his page. He wasn't promoting the St. Louis card whatsoever, right? Like, people knew he was on there, but he wasn't doing anything extra in order to try to push the numbers. But me, on the other hand, I'm posting roughly probably 4 videos every time, right? Throughout the day in order to try to promote myself to get on the card. Going to UFC 300, going back, talking shit, trying to find me an opponent, no matter who it might be, right? I'm trying to find me anybody willing to take on anything that the UFC is willing to offer. So with that being said, it's getting a lot of eyes on it. It's getting a lot of traction. Okay, now people really do want to see Buckley on the St. Louis card. People really do want to see, doesn't matter who we fight, but just want to see him try to get that main event slot. So everybody's backing me now. I got people from Dr. Lehman, who works with a lot of athletes from St. Louis, from the Cardinals, from City Park, from the hockey team, right? Helping push my name out even further, right? So now I got big platforms within St. Louis trying to get me out there. And people don't realize, in my opinion, I believe that I helped the UFC break these attendance records. because when they first came here, they did terrible. They only had, I think, 10,000 tickets sold, and everybody left early. Everybody left early because didn't nobody know who was on the card, right? But at the end of the day, I feel like all the work that I put in led people to come out and show out for us, you know, May 11th. So now I feel like, you know, the UFC is kind of looking at me like, okay, yeah, we see what you're doing. You crazy too, but we see what you're doing and it's working.
Right.
You know?
And that's perfect. I feel like even Dana said afterwards in hindsight, he kind of revealed too that that's what a fighter should do. And granted, you won, so he was able to give it a positive spin. Who knows what he would have said if he lost or something like that.
Right.
But, you know, he did say, he's like, that's what a fighder should do. So you did prove that you're about that life. And Dana kind of validated that he likes to see that in a fighter, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing too, right? When you promoting, whether you win or lose, you're doing your job. You want people to watch. You want people to tune in, right? At the end of the day, if you win and you don't promote and don't nobody watch it, what it matters? You don't get no clout. You don't get no value from it. So my thing is trying to get as many people to tune in as possible is the greatest joy of doing our job. Because that's when we get to showcase to the world exactly who we are and how great we are. But what's the point of even fighting if you ain't got nobody watching? That's just my opinion, you know. But yeah, I think I done really reached some different numbers, man, for this fight. And with the help with Nursultan, with him coming from Uzbekistan, they really ride for their people, right? But I think it was the antics that I was doing as well that helped push those numbers even harder than, you know, what they would already internationally be. Right, exactly. I think we got like 16 million views and counting just for the weigh-ins, right? And the weigh-ins only did 1 million for Derek Lewis and the dude that he fought.
16 million where? On one channel or collectively?
No, on the UFC and Dana White's page.
Oh shit, so Dana got 16 million views for that face-off. Right.
And he flashing that money, talking about he needs some money.
And everybody tunes in, you know, at this point, it's a guarantee. You've been doing it since way back, just talking shit in your weigh-in face-offs.
And I'm going to keep talking shit. That's just me.
We all love it, you know. Everybody tunes in because before it even starts, we're like, Buck's going to say something probably. Right. And just to add to your point a little bit, because, you know, it's good to give you your recognition here. So even you're saying it, but I'll say it too in a different way, which is UFC Atlantic City, same card you fought on, right? That card didn't have too much crazy hype. But like you're saying, because of the whole backstory with UFC St. Louis getting you on the card, the hype, thousands of fans voting on polls to get you on, thousands of fans voting, they're probably tuning in, you know, at least
that's what's beautiful about the UFC. They see everything that we doing. Even the lowest level fighter, if you posting anything, if you like going live on video, they watch it. That's what they got those kids in there working, you know, that them temp workers, that's why I call them the temp workers, but they really what they call them, you know, the kids that come from the school. The kids that come from the school.
Interns.
And they don't get interns. Thank you. They got interns that come through there all the time. But regardless, though, I feel like they make sure they have eyes on us to make sure that they see who has the potential to be whatever. And a lot of these fighters, unfortunately, they don't really tap into the marketing part or the promoting part because they really don't know who they trying to be or who they are. You got to figure out who you are as a person first off, and what you trying to promote and what's your message to the world. And I feel like once you figure that out, once you get a good understanding and a ground level understanding of that, then you can be able to push even further towards people that are like-minded as you, right? And then you can actually start setting up your own market to the people that you gear to, you know what I mean, to sell to.